Hello and welcome into Looking Up With Laird here on Sorare TV. I'm Andrew Laird. You can find me as Lairdinho on Sorare, joined once again by Sam Tighe and Harry Trades to add 4 more names to the Sorare Data watch list of guys who are looking up. Gentlemen, we've had some mixed success last week. I was told this week on Monday how good this guy Takaro Kaneko was. And they were like, "Do you know this guy?" And I'm like, "Of course I know this guy. I had a whole conversation about this guy." And everyone thinks they discover him, which means like not enough people are watching this show. So if you're watching, like, subscribe, and share the videos, because these two are geniuses when it comes to this game, and more people need to know about it. So, Sam, I'm starting with you because of this great Kaneko one that's now going viral because everybody thinks he's so good.
Wow, yes. I believe I was the first person to ever see him play football 3 weeks ago.
That's right.
It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'm going to go less exciting this time around, but I really like the look of this guy's trajectory. He's someone that a lot of people will be very familiar with. A lot of people thought he died in the summer, and to be fair, he did. But just recently, we've seen shoots of life. It's Milos Kerkez, Bournemouth left back. Remember him?
Yep, just about.
Yeah, so do I. I remember him too. Milos Kerkez has had a dodgy start to life in the Premier League, but over the last 3 to 4 weeks, just in line with Bournemouth's ascent out of the sort of relegation possibility in the Premier League, he has started to catch fire. You can see just below, go further than 5 games back, and you can see no trust, poor performance, dropped out of the team. The international break didn't go well for him either, as you can see with the red card. And after obviously initially being given the opportunity to play for Bournemouth by the manager Iraola, he dropped out of the team. He's very recently come back in. You can see that first big score for a while is against Villa. Obviously, I watched that game and was thinking, goodness me, he looks fast. He looks explosive. He looks aggressive. He looks like he's really cottoned on to what Iraola wants from him, and the rest of the team have too. So, in a way, we're sort of charting a team's rise here. Bournemouth have looked very, very good over the last 3 to 4 weeks. All of their players, to be fair, are trending upwards. I could have put Ryan Christie here. Solanke, I think, with 8 goals in the league is no secret. Lewis Cook is playing really well. Ilya Zabani is playing brilliantly. Like, you can sort of take your pick on Bournemouth right now. They're sort of riding a wave. But Kerkez interested me because that L15, my friends, I mean, just show me the last 15 games, lad, and let's just I mean, this guy is so usable. Oh, fantastic. I've been using him in the back end of the Super Cap 220 with an L15 of like 24. And you can field anyone in the world alongside him if your L15 is 24. It's basically 0. My maths should be checked. But that is going to take a while to shake out. You know, this guy's L15 is going to stay low for months. And that is a huge positive, obviously, in the cap-orientated stuff.
I think what's incredible about this L15 run, and we kind of looked at it earlier, is it includes 11 starts.
Yeah.
Like those really, I mean, what is that? Every one of these yellow or these oranges here are below 30. And I believe all of them except one are starts.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some pretty dreadful. Are these just lost possessions from, like, does he cross the ball much? To be honest, I don't watch him.
Presumably, it's the fullback thing of you're on a weak team, you're conceding a lot of goals, you're losing the ball. Look at the score lines: 6-1, 4-0, 3-0. Like that combination, we all know that you sort of ride the waves up and down on these fullbacks. Sometimes it can go horribly, it can go brilliantly. Sometimes they wake up and they're just like, I'm going to complete every cross, and sometimes they're like, I'm going to kick it out of play 18 times. And I don't know why they're so volatile, but they are. But now that Bournemouth have found their groove, he has a much higher floor, which is great. And the way he surges forward and pings these low crosses into the box, there'll be a few more assists coming. A lot of people will know him very well already. Like Harry, you've probably seen much more of him than I have because I didn't watch him in the Netherlands. But I'm starting to get the impression that he's finding it again.
Yeah, with the kind of the talk that you mentioned earlier of the, like, a lot of people were familiar with him. Like, he was very good at AZ, and there was every expectation that when he went to Bournemouth, he would completely fall off, exactly as you said, kind of in the introduction. Does the fact that let me pull this back up, that he had 20 AA, like, does this Man United match say more about Bournemouth or Man?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, that game could have been 4 or 5. It was genuinely that one-sided, and there was that 4th goal right at the end, ruled out for kind of like an accidental handball, which was such a shame. But the Villa performance was an eye-opener. They should have won that game. Palace follow up with a 2-0. Luton, they went behind. They got back into it. They're starting to find it. And then, of course, Tom Lockyer unfortunately needs medical treatment. So that game is cut short. He wasn't subbed off at 65, and that game gets fully replayed. So you get a bonus game at Kerkez, and it's Luton at home, which is nice, I guess. They'll fit that in somewhere, and that's a lovely fixture to get to replay in full. They're not going to do the last 25. They're just going to do the whole thing again.
Yeah.
Nice little thing to have in the pocket. Probably a midweek could help. But yeah, I'm kind of following the team trend of Bournemouth, and I've picked the guy who has by far the most usable L15, which means that he can fit into basically anything, and it's such an enabling card.
That full replay is so helpful, like, because you bought Bournemouth cards previously for that matchup, and then they go down earlier, and you're just like, and now being able to get basically a fresh start is a real positive. And I mean, the upcoming schedule is not too bad. Away to Forest, home against Fulham, Spurs. You never know what can happen. And
and I wouldn't be scared of the big teams here for Bournemouth. It might sound like a bit of a strange thing to say, but because they're such an aggressive pressing team, they are the kind of team here who I think over the course of the rest of the season will win a couple of games against the top 7 that you would never have them down for.
Yeah.
But because they'll play high risk, high reward football, and they'll push a team's buttons, they'll press, and they'll create those high turnovers, and they will catch teams that want to build out from the back. So I don't actually see those fixtures as the most horrendous things. I see those as Bournemouth will see them as chances to pick teams off and do what they did at Old Trafford. So I wouldn't even be too worried about that.
And from a cap mode, it's, well, I was about to say it's hard as long as you start to not outscore 29, but he has shown us that he can do that as well. So maybe I'll pull that one back. No, that's a fun call. And I like the idea that Bournemouth are as a team are kind of moving up. So
and Zabani, like, have just a quick check on him as well for the profile. Like, I assume his L5 is fantastic. Under 23, so not really my area, but he's really starting to heat up as well from a U23 perspective. I think that looks quite good. He wins a lot of duels.
I can't remember. Was I telling you guys or was I telling somebody else? I saw a stat on Twitter that he has like the most interceptions ever or something. Like,
wow, more than
the last like 100 games. I don't know. There's like something to do with like the last 100 games. He has like a ridiculous amount, or the quickest to 100. I can't remember where it was, but yeah, he's up there. And like
I think you and I talked about it on a game week preview.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah,
I think that's what it was.
Yeah,
I like it. Mr. Trades, what do you got today?
So one of our last episodes was sponsored by the Turkish Travel Board. This week's episode, one of my picks, are sponsored by a certain Sorare gallery. Shall we let the audience decide?
It better not be mine.
Okay, we'll leave that one to last. We'll let the suspense build up for that one. We'll go with my bit of a wild card pick. In a player called Dylan, but it's spelled Dilane, French version, I assume. Dylan Bakwa, who moved from Bordeaux to Strasbourg. So he went from the second league to the first, I believe. And didn't really do too much to get on anybody's radars as far as SO5 scores go since he kind of moved. But over the last couple of weeks, he's done pretty well as an under 23 forward who has God knows how many years left. Was he 21? So 2027 utility till, and he takes set pieces led. So this is like a watered down version of your sponsored pick. Sorry, I've.
I hope so. I feel like in the next 5 minutes, I'm gonna be like, oh no, I got the wrong one.
Nah, to be fair, he hasn't shown as much promise as our second pick. But no, I mean, yeah, over the last 3 games, like we said, one of them's like a 26 AA. He's got like a 17 in there, a goal, or maybe a goal and an assist. But he's taken. I looked in the last last 5 games. Sorry, he's taken 8 corners, which is more than anyone else in that team. Doesn't seem like they have a ton of corners, to be fair, but he takes them. Lovely L15 compared to the L5, which is always a nice thing to kind of compare. Kind of shows he's kind of heating up in that sense. Yeah, the fixtures aren't looking incredible, I can't lie. But beyond that PSG game, they kind of look okay, to be honest. So, you will have to wait a couple of weeks for that to kind of, sort of play out. But I mean, he's just a decent player. Like, a very cheap forward option at under 23 level that takes set pieces, capable of 80 pluses. I mean, they are quite rare in this day and age. We don't have your Mbappes anymore. Like, we just don't have as many of them, like Carlson's, Gakpo's. Like, the list just goes on and on of, under 23 forwards. You used to be able to do that. Now I look at, like, off the top of my head, Rodrigo, Doku, Bakayoko. It's like, okay, Alvarez, to be fair. Like, there's there's less than 10 off the top of my head. So, finding a stupidly cheap one that can do it now and again, sometimes that's just the game people have to play at the end of the day.
The lack of Dwight McNeil on that list is just infuriating. I'm not going to lie.
That is, yeah, I've done him a disservice there. Sorry, Dwight.
I will say, so I wanted to click through this 29.9 AA in 64 minutes, which seems incredibly wild. It looks like he came off injured, but then kept playing. 14 duels won.
I did see this. Ridiculous, isn't it? He gets a lot of tackles. I don't know why that is, but I think he had 3 I think he's had 3 in the last 3 games, or at least in 2 of them. I checked earlier. So, yeah, that's always a good start. If your forward can like guarantee you a double-double, you're in a good little position, aren't you? I know you don't get the points for the tackles, but you're still basically getting yourself like 10 AA out of just like defensive-y things, which is, for a forward, like we said, who's on set pieces, can be quite good.
Yeah, like 11 tackles won in the last 5 games. Jesus, 5 fouls drawn. Like 4 blocked shots. Like what forward is blocking shots? 12 contests won. We all love a good contest won.
Woo!
27 penalty on. Like, this is crazy. Jeez. 2 big chances created. 3 shots on target in 5 games.
Yeah.
I think I got
But this has coincided with them actually winning games, by the way. Like, Strasbourg have been pretty bad this year. Last 3, I think they've won 2 or maybe 1 or more. I know they're on a bit of a streak. Yeah, so like, that is going to help, isn't it? If you're a striker or a forward playing on a team that isn't winning games of football, chances are you're not scoring many goals. So it's like, you have to. Unfortunately, these things they coexist. Like Sam said, if Kerkez and Bournemouth aren't defending very well, then he's probably not going to score very well. Like, it's just kind of obvious. But sometimes, because we only buy one player from a team, you kind of think, well, he's on his own, he'll be fine. It doesn't matter what the team does. But no, it really does at the end of the day, most of the time.
Yeah. I like it.
It's fun. It's fun enough.
So this is back. Who did he play for before?
I think it was Bordeaux.
Yeah.
And he was obviously pretty good there. He would have been like 19, 20 at that point as well.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Man. Yeah, that's
he's on the rise.
Mm-hmm. Just the introduction of new cards. Man. And a 42 L15. It looks like the same price or score graph that we just saw.
Literally.
Exactly what you want to see.
Yeah, that's great. Someone got a nice super rare deal there in the last 30 days, it looks like. For a forward card.
Tasty.
Guillermo Ochoa himself. Incredible. It's not him. I've already checked that before.
You said it is not?
It's not him. No. Unfortunately, I've already checked that. I've seen that on the graph before. I go, oh, is it? It wouldn't be 1988 though, would it? For Memo, he'd be older than that.
Mm,
Is he that much older? I don't
close.
know.
4 years, 5 years
I can't
younger.
remember how
yeah.
old he is. I like that one. I've already got regrets. Hopefully you can
Nah,
pump
you
Regrets
up.
should.
about what? Not having him,
Yeah. Yes.
but you'd never heard of him.
Yes. That's correct.
Uh-huh.
Welcome to
There's
the
one. Oh,
Lairdinho
can I just
Sorare
say,
Derby here, Sam.
there's literally one on auction, like literally ended in the next like 20 minutes, I believe. Rare though, rare. Let's have a look. It was an hour ago when we like
18 minutes. Oh,
18, yeah.
Yeah. He's gonna hit a new high already. Look, 76.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Pavel flipped one in 5 hours.
Wow, didn't last long, did it? That
Yeah.
one.
Same with Basil.
0.23. Anthony said, "I'll be taking that one."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Looks like a steal
Clever.
now too.
Mm.
Wow. Okay. Sam?
Yes,
Number 2?
I'm gonna stay in the Premier League. I'm gonna stay with defenders, and I'm gonna stay with lower half clubs. Actually, they're in the lower half. I don't know. Tosin Adarabioyo from Fulham. Interesting one. Good player. Hasn't been given too many opportunities to show that over the last few years, and it's just been unfortunate for him that he's been stuck behind some good defenders. And well, I think that is potentially starting to change. He's started the last 3 in the league. Obviously, 2 of those went extremely well. One of them didn't go so well. But there's something changing here with Fulham, which is quite interesting. For a long time, this has been Tim Ream's defence. And early this season, they have put Tim Ream and Calvin Bassey into the centre-back pairing together. They're both left-footed. Bassey has been playing on the right. Bassey was pretty terrible for the most part, unfortunately. Consistently giving the ball away, passing off the wrong foot, passing at wrong angles, and scoring really poorly. I mean, he's a bit of a rash player at the best of times, even when he plays on his favoured left side. Put him on the right, and it's been even more difficult. So Fulham defensively haven't been particularly great this season, and that partnership hasn't been quite right. And always gets to a bit of a strange time, doesn't it? Where you go, well, let's take Tim Ream out because he's an absolute legend of the club. And up until basically this season, he'd been performing to a very, very high level. But very recently, we have seen Ream drop out of the team. And we have seen Tosin and Bassey play really well together. Right foot, left foot, good physicality, good speed and recovery. And I don't think it's a coincidence that the results have followed. It's just something here is about to shift, and it might take the rest of the season to fully entrench itself. And I don't know if he's going to be a shoe-in to play every single game now, but the introduction of Tosin to the defensive line and the reshuffling of Bassey and Ream has changed things. So I look at it as a situation to be interested by for sure, to potentially buy into. He's not particularly expensive. And then this other thing hanging over is his contract, I think, comes up at the end of the season. So I think I saw Fabrizio Romano tweeting about it earlier, that he's basically contracted until summer 2024. Tottenham quite like the look of him. There could be a move in January to a bigger team, or he might just spend the rest of the season showing everybody why he'd be one of the most coveted free transfers when it comes to the summer. I don't know exactly what the future holds for Tosin, but suddenly he's playing. Suddenly Fulham look a lot better defensively, and the balance looks right. And it's been his introduction that has really set that alight.
As a Tim Ream fan, obviously a little
mate.
disappointing to see him fall out, but it's really tough to argue the results, the Newcastle loss notwithstanding. And I was looking at the price chart. It's almost like you can tell when he hit that 100 because everybody snaps the buy nows that are double the auctions at this point. Is that right? 417, 8, man, it's literally double.
But it is one of those scenarios where, again, you've got the big gap between new Premier League card and old Premier League card because of the special.
But no, here's a new one at 417. The old one was at, I feel like that gap is closing a little. Well, maybe it's not. Actually.
I mean, it should close as we get towards the end of the special. Like, it absolutely makes sense. But yeah, you can either auto buy a new one or you can rustle around in the basement for an old one and get a significantly better deal. It's got Burnley at home next.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Premier League, it's a Premier League defender, like, and it's not for a top 7 club. You're not going to get too many weekends where you're like, oh, great matchup for Fulham. Like, that's not where we are, unfortunately. But he's quite cheap. He's back into the team. He's a good player. I don't know what happens in the summer, but I'm interested in this story. And the ethos of the show is looking up, and things are looking up for Tosin, like, no doubt about it.
Are the DNP? I mean, surely these are all injury related. Excuse me.
Yeah, I think he's had some injuries that have kept him in and out, obviously. But he also just has missed chunks of time because Fulham have had Issa Diop and they've had Tim Ream and they bought Calvin Bassey, and there's been competition, and he's had to sort of prove several times that he's well worth playing. And I remember when he came through at City. Do you remember, Harry, when he came through at Man City? And like
vaguely, yeah.
I remember it because I just had no idea how to say his name. He sort of just appeared in the team, and everyone was like, "Crap, how do you say that?" Very notable stuff. Anyway, he just goes by Tosin. Very nice of him. But he's a City Academy product, and he's a damn good player, like a lot of them. Like that, the conveyor belt of players. Taylor Harwood-Bellis being the most notable in Sorare terms nowadays, but Tosin is essentially the original Taylor Harwood-Bellis.
And still only 26.
Yeah.
It's not like he's 35.
No. I've just realised he looks quite a lot like my neighbour. Looking at that picture. Huh. I have to show him that.
Yeah.
So, that's not why you should buy Tosin, but it does help.
Are you friendly enough where you can say that?
Yeah.
Because there's a guy that goes to my gym that looks exactly like Trent Alexander-Arnold. Like,
no way.
Like, I triple taked once, and I was like, why would he be here? But I don't know the guy. But he's actually bigger than Trent, so it would almost be like offensive to be like, hey, you kind of look like this skinny English guy. But it's incredible, and I haven't said anything yet because I don't know the guy, but I want to just go out and be like, do you watch football? Do you know this guy? And then anyway, Harry, let's pump some bags here.
Here we go.
You said it, not me. You said it. Right.
You said it.
Yeah, okay. Laird made me say it then. So this is the sponsored portion of the video. We can't disclose fees and things of the sort, but all we know is a guy called Camille Neghli. Is that what we're gonna call him? We're gonna call him.
Sure.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, that's the closest.
I'm pretty sure it's right.
Thank you, Sam. My English teacher over there. But yeah, very similar profile to, was it Bakwa? I can't even remember his name now. Sorry.
This is why we don't have any fault-like viewers.
This is exactly why.
Yeah, it actually is, isn't it? But no, I mean, to be honest, a player who has the most ridiculous run of fixtures, I don't even think you could handpick a better 4 fixtures in the Eredivise for this guy. Another set piece taken forward under 23 until 2026. A little bit more expensive than our last guy, but barring that final fixture, and then obviously I think they've got AZ, but AZ aren't even that good right now. It's just the profile we want, right? Like we mentioned, I've done the talk about the first guy. It's a similar sort of thing, but the fact is he's done it for a lot longer. He's done it for like 10 games in that sense. I'm not saying he scored a goal in every one of those games, but in the games that he has scored a goal, there's a dark green score there. And that is literally, all you can really ask for. A 15 AA forward or potential forward with that, added bonus of, he can score goals. He can get decisives. And worked his way into the side from, not starting the first few games. If you have a look, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 16 minutes. Like, he wasn't in the side. And, Sparta aren't incredible, but they're good enough to where, you can expect decent scores. 20 AA in the last game from a forward is ridiculous, really. playing against Twente. I know something weird went on here. I think Twente had a man sent off, so maybe we can not disregard it. No, they didn't. To be fair, it was a penalty. Oh
No,
no,
yeah,
sorry,
they did.
Sparta had a man sent off. Yeah, so like it kind of went against him, I assume. But like, yeah, very similar
Big
profile
chances
to
created.
backward. Oh wow, that's ridiculous. Don't really see two. One's usual, I guess, but two's quite nice to see there. But yeah, like we said, set pieces. I mean, what more can you ask for, Led? I'm just seeing green scores, and then when they do sort of pop off, they're dark green. Like, there's not much more to really like say.
This
His
looks like a Laird forward.
L1546.
This is
It is a Laird forward. It really is. L5 of 62.
So, full disclosure, I bought this guy yesterday, and after I bought him, actually, I think it was before I bought him. I sent a message to these two guys. I said, does anybody know anything about Camille Neghli?
Oh, yeah.
And just crickets.
Well, I don't know about him.
To be fair, I'll give you.
So I did what I do, and I sent out some offers overnight, and I woke up, and one of them was accepted. And I was hoping to also wake up to messages of, oh, yeah, I know this guy, and all of this information. And both of them said nothing. And I was like, uh-oh. What did I do here? And then Harry was nice enough to like say, I'll pump his bag on the show. And so here we are. But honestly, the extent of my research was, I don't even know how I found him, to be honest. I take that back. I know exactly how I found him. So I had been looking at Nick Olij. Is that how you say his last name? Oli, they're Rotterdam's goalie, who's very good. And I just started kind of looking around the team, and I saw this guy. I said, oh, I do what I do. Go to the team who takes set pieces. I scroll down, and I'm like, oh, this Neghli guy. Click on it. I'm like, oh, he's a forward. Oh, these are green. And I send offers out.
It's true, yeah. I mean,
It's amazing.
That's not true. I think I went on his Wikipedia page, and then I sent offers out. By the way, the Wikipedia page says nothing. Basically says he plays for Rotterdam.
In English, yeah. There's probably one in a different language, which has much more.
Yeah, that's just miles long.
Yeah.
I think he came up. I mean, he's still pretty young. He's only 22, but I thought maybe he came up in the with Ajax. Maybe it was a different one. Maybe he's been here the whole time. I don't even remember.
He played for a second division team, I believe. When I looked on his SOFA score.
Oh, sorry. He's a youth Algerian international. That's what it was.
Yeah.
He played somewhere.
He played for De Graafschap, however you pronounce it. I genuinely can't. They're fourth in the second Eredivise right now. If you can try and pronounce it. So.
Don't make me say that. That would be a Graafschap or something like that. It would be because the GR in Dutch is like Gravenberg is like Gravenberg or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it's really tough.
Graafschap. Okay.
Makes sense.
Well, they're fourth, so.
But like fundamentally, it was this guy takes set pieces and is playing Fortuna, Go Ahead Eagles, Walwick, and Zwolle in the next four. And obviously, like we're taping this December 21st, and they don't play again until like mid-January because of the Eredivise break. But that's decent. I mean, the Feyenoord fixture, it's never fun playing Feyenoord. Then they have Excelsior at home, NEC. This is a bit of a rough patch. AZ, Twente, and Ajax. But then after
Look at Ajax there with 65. Good Lord.
But then those matches are out of the way. And then the rest of them, Fortuna again, Vitesse are dead last. Heracles, everyone smashes. Like it's
cool.
Yeah. But again, I know nothing about this guy.
You don't have to know.
You know enough. Yeah.
It's fine. I think all I would say is that the absolute minimum anyone should do is just check to make sure that like the player that they are about to spend potentially like, 60, 70, could be $100 on, isn't currently awaiting trial for murder. And like, as long as that's not happened, we're good. That's it.
That's it.
Due diligence.
That's all it is. Murder check. All right. We're
DBS check.
Yeah. Well, now we're just giving away all the secrets on this.
Yeah.
I don't think we can top that, to be honest. So thank you everybody for coming. If you could please like, subscribe. As a reminder, you can subscribe to this watch list on Sorare Data. Now, what is that? 136 players on the list. 336 people are already subscribed to the list. It's just called Looking Up With Laird on Sorare TV, as you can see there. As you see, we add names to the list during the show, which is not live. So if you do subscribe to that list, then you can see it before everyone else, and you can get your Camille Neghli before the inevitable run that will come from this show going out. So, gentlemen, thank you for all that, and good luck out there.